Yo, what's good everyone? You have De Las Rosas here, and I am here today with DJ Los Boogie, Carlos Garcia. So just a little quick info about how this is going to be. We're starting ElMNTV to document hip-hop in and around Minnesota, in the cities, suburbs, wherever it may be, as long as it's hip-hop, right? So with that being said, today we're going to get into a couple conversations. We're going to have a quick introduction and see how everything goes today, all right? So starting it off, here we go. Los, so tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit on how you first started breaking and how your story basically, just wherever you'd like to start.
In a nutshell. So I started dancing around 13 because I saw Flashdance on television. The alley scene was basically what got me hooked. I saw people dancing and not needing equipment. You know, it seemed like they probably learned on their own. So I started trying to do the same. Probably around the time I was in high school, I started a dance club, a couple dance clubs in different schools, so that I could meet more people to dance with. Graduating high school, because the internet was coming around, I started connecting with a lot of local people. This is before YouTube, before forums. Really, it was just kind of like chat groups.
Oh, okay.
And you know, people posting videos from time to time, but they'd be like 5 to 10 seconds long.
Okay, so quick question about high school. Sorry to interrupt. We did see that on one of our latest posts on the Minnesota B-Boy and B-Girl page, something about B-Boy Embryo. Quest Mode Crew. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so just a little backstory. Before I became Los Boogie, I actually had the screen name Embryo. So this was actually a screen name on IM. But it was basically a new generation of hip-hop. That was the idea. And the reason that I did that was because I wasn't named, so I just took on a screen name because that's what people knew me from on the internet.
Okay.
Eventually, some friends just shortened my name to Los from Carlos, and because I top rocked most of the time, they would call me Boogie, so I was Los Boogie. However, fresh out of high school is when the internet was really picking up steam, I should say. That's when I started traveling more and realizing that we didn't have good music to dance to. So right around, I'd say maybe 16, 17, I started collecting music so that I could edit and make loops for our crew to dance to.
Oh, okay.
So it really just served a purpose. Ultimately, it led into, or kind of guided me down this path where I'm like learning how to arrange music. You know, following people like DJ Lacey, DJ Ben, DJ Voodoo. And I started structuring music and figuring out how to make mixtapes, how to play music for battles, so I started DJing, or in other words, just collecting music. And eventually it led to me playing music for people because we needed DJs in our scene. But mostly it's all served a purpose. So one thing led to another. That's basically how it happened.
Of course. I could definitely understand that. So continuing on then, our topic for today is going to be training. And I myself have noticed going out of town, different training methods of different people. Some of them work, but a lot of them don't. How would you fine tune training, or how would you define or explain training?
I'd say my approach to training is conditioning. Like probably 70% conditioning, maybe even more. What a lot of people in our scene don't understand is that besides just the funky dance aspect of it, you're also an athlete. And the way that you train, you know, if you're an athlete, is that you condition over long periods of time.
Of course.
You ramp up with camps for special events, and then you get back to just your regular regimen. You have to think in terms of longevity, because if you want to go hard all the time and be giving 100%, you do injure yourself, you do take more time to recover. And eventually with age, the law of diminishing returns kicks in, where you learn all of these useful things, but now you're not bouncing back the way you used to. You don't heal as fast. So the knowledge is not as useful to you anymore.
Of course.
So it's a matter of learning these things and applying them, being disciplined, but conditioning for whatever dance style you have.
Yep, of course. So with that, of course, applying it to your particular dance style, but I know you and I have had this conversation on something that you can even define a little more. A farmer's workout or farmer's training?
Farmer strength.
Farmer's strength, yes. Can you explain that a little bit?
There's two types of conditioning that I like to teach people when I do teach classes. Is one is static strength workout, which is not dynamic movement, but it's holding positions, kind of like what yoga people do.
Okay.
Holding poses for a while, because then you're working on your balance muscles. So the smaller muscles that help you balance your joints, rather than your big muscles that for dynamic movement.
Okay.
Dynamic strength workouts are good, but the other portion of it would be just training smart and conditioning what I would call the 60 to 80% rule.
Yep.
So you never train to the point of complete exhaustion, because then you know you can't go above.
Okay.
So one, you need to not be sore so that you can continue training sooner, and B, you need to not be sore so that you can heal faster, and maybe not have to heal at all.
Okay.
But basically, you want to take as little time as you can healing from injuries.
Yes. Because I know when I myself first started, I always thought that you had to go all out in every single training. It's like get yourself tired, you know.
Yeah.
And I'd realized that after I do that, I'd have to take 3, maybe even 4 days off to regain my strength and everything else, and then get back to training. Yeah, exactly.
So another aspect of the farmer strength concept is that people that do manual labor do repetitive motions, right?
Yes.
But they never do it to the point of exhaustion, because they got to go back to work the next day.
Exactly.
So the point is that you do it to the point of, so you're in a flow state, and you're, whatever job it is that you're doing, maybe you're cutting trees, and all of a sudden, everything just feels like you're in flow.
Okay.
Every cut matters.
Okay.
Every cut has purpose. Every movement that you do has purpose, and you're not tired or hurt. When you stop yourself at that point, I think it gives you this urge to want to go back to get to that flow position, which is good, because if you're training and it's grueling, you're going to have to convince yourself to train the next time.
Yep.
You don't want that. You want to be able to just jump back into it because you're craving it.
Exactly.
So the idea is repetitive work, but it's also 60 to 80% of your max, so that you're not pulling muscles, you're not tearing ligaments, you're not injuring yourself, but you're also reaching a point of, I can do this for prolonged periods. So I've conditioned my body to specialize for this specific movement.
Oh, okay. So being able to prolong your conditions and your workouts without putting in 100% of your full energy, and being able to go all out, not all out, I want to say go 70 to 80% like what you said, throughout each practice, yes?
Yep.
Okay. Hey, well, there you go. There you have it. I want to thank you for joining us for the first one. I'm very happy with how this went. ElMNTV is for sure going to be around the scene a lot more, and well, we just hope to have
Quick
you
note
more.
before we go.
Yes.
Always warm up and stretch before you actually do train. You avoid injury by making yourself more pliable, but also you want range of motion. Because the more range of motion you have for joints, the more moves you're able to try.
Yes.
And then again, when you hurt yourself, your body can usually absorb the injury, the trauma, so you don't actually tear anything. But always condition and squats.
Yes, squats. Yeah, I've heard that rule for sure. So hey, there you have it, you guys. DJ Los Boogie, and we are out for the day. Peace.